everyone, this is Vinny Venom, and this is Getting Into the Business, the music business. That is episode 8. I am Vinny Venom, your host, global music producer, remixer, songwriter, record label owner, apparel owner, entrepreneur, public figure. Thank you, everyone, for showing me so much love and support that you guys been giving me and contacting me and saying, hey, man, I love your show. I'm getting so much out of it, so much information. I'm learning a lot. I love your enthusiasm. I love how your attitude comes out and you're real. And that's how I want to put myself. I want to perceive myself as being a real person that's giving you suggestions, information that's going to help you get to where you need to be and explaining to you that it's not going to happen all the time overnight. Sometimes people are lucky and they hit the jackpot and they do that one track that gets so much attention from everybody, especially the track right now that everybody's going crazy for, that's getting played all over. I'm not going to mention it, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. But let me start off by saying we are on episode 8. Okay. And if everybody's checking out all my shows and watching all the graphics and the animation that I create, I do that all myself. Okay. Everything in life is able to get done if you put your mind and you set your mind to what you want to do. Anything you can do, you will accomplish. It's going to take time. Nothing's going to happen right away. I had to actually work on these programs and software and make a lot of mistakes until I got really good at it, where people started recognizing my work, not just my music, my mastering, and everything else that I do. So let me put it out to you guys. If you need someone to do something like this for you, contact me. We'll talk about numbers and what you're looking to get done, and we'll talk about a price range of what you could pay for and what you cannot pay for. And then if you need mastering or mixing or anything beyond that, contact me and we'll definitely talk about that also. A lot of people like my music and like the way how it's mastered and how it's sound and how it's arranged. A lot of people don't have the ability to do that stuff yet and have to bring their work out to other people to get it perfect and sounding professional. And there's a lot of things like you want your music to get noticed where Apple puts it in on losses, whatever it is, to make it sound even better. But the music and the production has to be pro level, or it's not going to get connected to that option. So there's a lot of things that people don't understand. That everything that you do has to be perfected to the point where everybody looks at it and says, this is a professional cover, a professional video, professional mastering, arrangement, and everything else. And that's how you're going to get noticed even more, by putting out stuff that's going to be high quality work. Okay. And if you do anything less than that, of course, you're not going to get that appraise, like making something that sounds professional. That takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of, not everybody knows how to do that right away. It takes a lot of time. So you're going to have to, put the work out for someone else to do and give them an outlook of what you want done and how you want it done and how you want it to sound and everything else. Give them references, give them ideas, suggestions, and then those people will work with you and come up with a blueprint or, a sketch of how things are going to come out and how they're going to look. And if you're happy with it, then we definitely go forward. You have to be happy with it. You're the client, the person that's putting out the stuff with your name on it, your signature, your brand. So it's a part of you. So you got to make it look 200%. I always tell people, I always put out stuff 200%, not 100%. I'm my worst critic. If I don't like something and if I see that little perfection that is not even noticeable, it's going to bother me and I will just not put it out. Or if I put it up and I see it, I'll take it down and redo it and then put it back up. That's why a lot of people said, oh, I seen your work. And then all of a sudden I didn't see it anymore. It's because I took it down. It was something that was bothering me and it was pestering me. So I had to get it perfected. And once I do that, then I'm happy with it. Like I said, I'm my worst critic and I'm a perfectionist. I'm sorry, but that's how I always been. And that's how I always will be. So everyone was talking about the artwork and what I'm stating in here. As everyone knows, with the virus, everyone else that would does music had to adapt on how they're going to work. A lot of artists started putting out instrumentals without vocals because they couldn't have an artist come to their studio because everyone's afraid with COVID and this virus. Either people that they know got sick from it or passed away from it. I had friends that passed away from it. I had family members that passed away from it. I had associates that I knew, people that worked with me pass away from it. So everyone is very, very scared and don't want to take a chance. I don't blame them. So we have to work around certain things. A lot of people went on the instrumental level. A lot of people went on for things like Splice and all these other companies that put out sample packs and whatnot. But the thing about putting out sample packs, you have to be really careful because everyone else gets those sample packs and they're going to use certain things that you're going to probably use also. That's why a lot of labels are really hesitant. I mean, they don't want it. They're not hesitant. They're definitely not going to work with. If a track is banging and you use one of those sample CDs, they're not going to put it out because they want to put out something original. They don't want to do anything where someone else is going to put out something else and they can't do anything about it because they have the same permission that you have and everybody else has that same license and they can put it out themselves. Yes, you could put it out like me. If it's your own label, then it's different because it's your own label. You do whatever you want. You don't have to, contact somebody or, get permission from somebody to tell you, yeah, you could do it or you can't do it. So you go by what you believe is right. And if it sounds banging, then you do what you want to do. So, but other labels are not going to go for that. So you're going to have to look for an artist and you look at trying to find people on Fiverr or try to find people on Sounds or whatever and do the track and then send it to them. Um, First of all, when you find out these people, make sure they're legit. Send them over a lyric agreement stating that you're hiring them from work for hire, and it's like a clause saying that you can't share the music with anybody. This is what it is. Please do not do that because you will conflict on the contract, and then there will be legal actions and so on. So, but then if you deal with these companies that do this on a regular basis, they already know these guidelines and they know the rules and they know the policy and the terms. So they will know what needs to be done and they will do it. So you have to find that person and you have to send them your music and then you have to see what they put back to you. And if you like it and if you agree with what they did, then you go and start putting the track together. Something original, something that's yours, something that labels are going to hear and say, okay, this is something new. This is something fresh. This is not something that, all these other sample packs and all these companies are using on a regular basis, So, I mentioned a lot of these companies like, these sample packs. I'm not part of them. I just use certain of their samples once in a while in my life. So I definitely know about them. But it's different when you are going with a major label or an independent label and you're the artist, you're not the producer, you don't own the label. Then they're going to have some gripes about using it and they will not use it. So they'll say, hey, get rid of the vocals and get some original vocals. I definitely like the track, but I don't like the vocals. Not because I don't like them, just because they're sample packs and somebody else down the line is going to use it again. And if you make a crazy banging track and we put it out and then it's going to get another track that comes out with the same vocals, it's kind of, they're not going to like that. So they want something original and something that's coming from you, something that they're going to say, hey, we're putting a label on it. This is an original track. This is not a cover. This is not a remake or whatever. If you're doing a remix, that's totally different. But if you're doing an original, straight new track, then you have to go by those guidelines. So, like I said, if anyone needs someone to do graphics or animation, contact me and I will give you a price range of what I charge and what about it, and also the mastering and the mixing and everything else on top of it. So, when I said to you, Vinny Venom, global music producer, they'll say, hey, then why did you title that your name global? Because everyone says now I'm a global music producer, remixer, because my music is getting played overseas and a lot. I have a lot of fans, a lot of DJs out there that respect me and I respect them and they show me love and I show them love right back. And people like my guy out of Norway, uh, Dutch Mars, and Quest, and a lot of other people out there that show me love every single day. You know, all these DJs, producers, influencers that show me love all the time. And I always love to give love back. And like I said, you guys send me your music. If I like what I hear, I'll definitely mention your music on my show. Like I said, I will then add your links and your information in the description. I can't play your music because there'll be copy infringement, and that could be a problem not only for me but for you also because I don't own any of your rights. So I could also mention your stuff and send links and let people know where they can find you. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Um, if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, I'll spell it for you. Mexo is this producer that Dutch put me onto, and he has a song called "Let You Go." It's on Spotify and all the other music platforms. Definitely check it out. It's Mexxo. I believe he's a young producer, definitely an upcoming producer. Definitely check him out. Dutch put him on to me. And like I said, we're all on this earth to make a name for ourselves, right? And I always believe that everyone has to have a shot on this earth. And if you see something or hear something that you really, really like, then you should definitely help let that person grow, either be a woman or a man, even a child, because there's some child artists that are mind blowing, you know what I mean? And they need, support and love also. So that's what I believe and that's what I continue to do. So definitely check them out. It's Mexxo. The song is Let You Go by Mexo, and definitely check it out and definitely give him a shout out and definitely show him love. He's got my support, definitely. I always show support. I always get support and love, and I always give love and support back, and that's the way it should be here in the US and here and overseas, right? So like I said, we as artists with this virus, we had to adapt on certain ways how we need to go about our production and how we have to do it. A lot of people did instrumentals, but the people that had artists would find singers that have a mic set up. A lot of people have a shield background that you put a shield, it's a shield, and the mic goes in front of it, and it's like being in a booth, but you could put it in your corner of your house. I have one right here, and you use that and you record your vocals. So what I did is I worked with a lot of artists, and I pretty much know how I want certain things to sound. So I will give them a reference of certain tracks and how I would want their voice to sound and certain things and certain levels. If I wanted to be edgy, if I wanted it to be dirtier, and if I wanted to be smooth, I would give them a arrangement level of where I want their voice to be at that center level. If I hear any problems or mistakes, I will bring it up to them and say, here at this point, you should bring it up a little bit. You should sing a little smoother, a little bit more edgier, a little bit more tact to your voice. Sing more out of your diaphragm, your stomach, your throat. And as singers, they will understand what I'm talking about because they know this analogy because they're singers. So they know, how they should hold a note and how they should put it out and whatnot. So, and I would put out stuff and the music that they would send me back. I would listen to it and then figure out how I would need to, if I need reverb, if I had to semitones or whatever, and how I would want to make things sound. I want to make the singer sound as natural as possible. I always believe in that. That's how I work. If you listen to my stuff, so I always try to figure out what's the best game plan of how I need to go about for what they sent me. And I want the vocals to sound, of course, 200%. So if I'll hear it right off the bat. sending me the vocals if there's anything that doesn't sit right with me. Like I said, I'm a perfectionist, and if I don't like something, I'm not going to agree on it. So now we have the option that a lot of these artists, a lot of these singers have a setup at the house. So a lot of them nowadays are starting to figure that out, and a lot of them are starting to figure out software like Logic or Pro Tools or Ableton and record their vocals and send them to you, raw vocals, and then you outline them and add all the other elements that needs to be put in there, the EQ and everything else, the limiter and everything else you have to do with putting the track together, arranging and mixing and mastering. Um, like I said, a lot of people have been hitting me up and saying, "Hey man, I love the way your sound is. Would you be interested in mastering and mixing my stuff?" Hit me up and then I'll give you let me know what you're doing. If it is hip hop, if it's rap or whatever kind of style music you're putting out and you're doing whatever genre it is, let me know and then I'll tell you prices and whatnot and we can go from there. And that's it. At the end of the day, it's all about us doing something and giving you something that's definitely going to be quality, quantity, and consistency. Remember what I said? Quality, quantity, and consistency. That's what I always say is the key factor of everything that you need to put out in this world. So everyone's been watching my music. I just had two songs, right? Well, I had more than two songs because my Pussycat um, also was number one in Kings of Spin. So I had Ooh La La, okay, the big room version, and now the tech house version also went number one too. And then I had Ula, I mean, my Pussycat. I had the tech house version and the big room version, the original version, and then I had the remixed versions of them. So they all went number one on Kings of Spins. Then I had Ooh La La that went number one on Kings of Spins. I believe three times in 1 week. And recently, I mean, yesterday, I believe, Be By Your Side, the new track that I wrote that everyone's going crazy for, the progressive house track, went number one also. And also getting crazy airplay, and everyone's been loving the track. I've been getting so much great input from the DJ saying, "Hey, man, everyone's loving both of those tracks," just to let you know. So, everyone asks me all the time, "Hey, Vin, how do you do everything you do?" Let me explain something to you guys. I work so hard sometimes that I actually knock out throughout whatever I'm doing. Either I'm doing music or I'm doing videos or I'm doing graphics or I'm doing promotions or recording my vocals. I'll just knock out in the middle of it and wake up in the morning and say, "Holy sweat. Did I get anything? Did I finish it or did I have to continue?" And then I figure out, I'm like, so I took the nap, I got up, and then I start working again and start finishing what I need to do. Um, and that's how I work. It's crazy because as you get older, your body adjusts is different. You know what I mean? I used to just stay up all night and burning oil all night. Now my body just lets me know and it just shuts off like a light switch. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it takes a lot of work to get to one point to the next point. I always tell people, if you want something bad enough in life, it's definitely there for you. The question is, how hard are you going to work to get to that point? And you have to figure out and go from the times how things are out there that are coming out, new stuff that could help you promote your music and get your music out there. Everybody's been putting out their stuff, and so have I on TikTok. But now there's also something called Clapper that's also like TikTok. So I am on both of them. It's a good way to promote your music, um, whatever you're doing, advertisement, or if you're promoting a product or whatever you're trying to do and get across to people. It's a good way to show people that you are. Like I said, I don't work for these companies. I have no affiliated with them. I'm just mentioning things that could actually help. Remember what I said? Put certain things in your toolbox, and those things that you put that are really going to help you and help you grow, get nice covers for them and put them in a part of the toolbox where they're not going to get misplaced and they're going to be on their own, those things, because you're going to um, enjoy having them and you want to keep them as clean and as not dented or broken or whatever as you want. You want them to be perfect. those tools. You want to keep them in 200% each and every time you put them away and pull them out. So that's how it works. You have to look, go on the internet and look. You got to do your homework. You have to try to figure out what is going to be the best new source thing you can get into that's going to help you get your stuff to the mass people that you need to get around. Like I said, I always say to myself, you always got to do your homework on whatever you're doing, because you have to figure out and you have to go from the times of what new stuff is out there and what people are talking about and what people are using to help them promote themselves and getting themselves more and more of a fan base, a more of a new audience. Um, and you got to do something that you're going to realize that not everyone's going to love your stuff in the beginning. You're going to get a lot of people that are going to be very, very um, not crazy about your stuff, to be honest. They're going to say, hey, it sounds like everybody else's stuff. Nothing is really impressing me, nothing mind blowing. And that's going to make you figure out what needs to get done and how you need to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you everyone for tuning in, getting into the business, the music business that is episode 8. I am Vinny Venom, your host, music producer, and remixer. I try to give people information that everyone is going to get something out of it each and every time. You have to have the aggression and the attitude, the way a lion sees himself in the jungle as being the king of his destiny, his empire. You know, the lion knows he's the king, so he comes off like he's the man. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy that everyone is going to move away from. People are going to respect and honor him because he holds the crown. So that takes a lot of work to get there. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen all the time. There's a lot of competition out there. You have to understand this industry is a tough industry. What you're doing, uh, thousands and thousands of people all over the world are doing the same thing. And I had this conversation with someone this week, and they said, there's so much music out there. It's amazing. I said, yeah. But then he brought something up to me before I even brought it up to him. He says, but Vin, there's a lot more bad stuff than good stuff. So I said, yeah, absolutely. There's a lot more bad stuff than good stuff. So you have to work your way away from the bad stuff to get to the good stuff. It's like going to the supermarket and touching and feeling fruit. You're going to feel certain ones that are not as uh, soft. Some are going to be harder. Some are going to be really, really soft. Some of them are going to be rough. Certain ones are going to be, they're going to sound hollow. Finding that perfect sounding fruit is the same way as finding music. You're going to have to go through a lot of it. You're going to have to probably make a lot of bad choices and buy something and it's going to be too bitter or maybe too much, it's not ripe enough. So you have to figure these things and understand trial, error, comes more and more information. And from that information, you start to realize what you need and what you don't need, what is too much and what is not enough. I always say when you do music, less is better, because if you put too much, everything sounds too cluttered, right? So I always tell people, when you do track, work with what you have, but outline what you have and make it sound different or add certain elements to what you did. Don't overpower what you did and take away from something else, because that's going to confuse everyone. Everything's going to sound off, or something's going to sound not that it sounds proper layered on top of it or whatever. A lot of people think more is better, but less is way, way on point. So you have to understand that. Sometimes people think they have to fill up the track and pound it with so much stuff because that's going to make everything sound better and people are going to like it more. No, it's not, because it's going to sound too much clutter and muffled, and the sounds of the instruments are not going to work together. They're not going to not sound profound coming out of the speakers and whatnot. So you have to figure out your frequencies and everything else that is equated with it. Otherwise, you're not going to have nothing. A lot of people sometimes do so many tracks and they're banging and stuff, but the frequencies and the levels and things are off and things are not mixed right and things are not arranged. The drops not coming in, is coming in too soon or coming in late. So these are things that you have to figure out, and that's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of mistakes, and from those mistakes you're going to learn and you're going to grow from them, and you're not going to make those mistakes anymore. Because once you do those mistakes plenty of times and people say, hey man, the drop should have came in earlier, the drop was off, maybe that drop wasn't good, the first drop, if you have two drops on the track, maybe the second drop should be in the first one, and the first one, and then the last one should have been the second one, and vice versa. Um, but you're gonna have to only learn that from making those mistakes. And I always say, people, mistakes are good because you grow from them, you learn from them, you develop a skills, and that will let you follow through on other projects, and how you need to get about them and how you need to set them right. And that takes a lot of work. Everything in life is work, you know? I get so many people saying, hey man, I got so tired of this industry. I try to make it my living, but I was putting in so much more than when I was getting out of it. What keeps you going, Vin? What motivates you? What makes you not want to stop? Because I couldn't do it anymore. It just wasn't for me. You know, I started seeing it was very competition and complicating and whatnot, and I kind of got disgusted, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And hand it up to you because you keep doing what you're doing, and I couldn't do it anymore. I just fell off. And I said to them, I said, listen, everything in life is work, right? And when you start a job, at first you're going to have to eventually adapt to that job and realize if it's going to be something that you're going to stick to and you're going to enjoy going to it every day. I always say, if you don't like doing something, it doesn't have to be music. It could be anything in general. It could be a job. Uh, if you don't, even a marriage, if you're not happy in a marriage, then you shouldn't be in a marriage. I always say, we only have one time on this earth, and we have to make the best of it, because time is the one thing we have, but we do not have enough of it. So we have to make sure that time that um, hold we hold it and get done everything that we need to get done in life, because we don't know, tomorrow is never promised. I could be talking to you today, an hour later, 3 hour later, god forbid, I could have a heart attack, I could have a stroke, I could have an aneurysm, and I'm done. That's it. Things that I should have done, would have done, could have done, I didn't do them. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you don't want to have those questions and say, hey, I should have done this, I should have done that. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I get rid of this? Why wouldn't I do that? You don't want no regrets. In life, we don't want no regrets. Unfortunately, we do have a lot of regrets. How many people look and notice that they're getting older? They're not looking the same they were before. They weren't taking care of themselves the way they did before. And then they started noticing every year, every day, they started feeling different. They started looking different. People seeing them different. I always say to myself, if you can fix or um, try to compensate on things that bother you, then do it, because you don't want to do something later. Because, like I said, so many people, like my birthday's coming up in a couple of days. because we're already what, on the 30th. My birthday is on the 8th of November. I'm a Scorpion, hence Vinny Venom. But that's not the reason why my name is Vinny Venom. If you want to know, listen to my first um, getting into the business, the music business, that is episode 1, and I will talk about a lot more about my history and my life and how I grew up and what I did and how I got the name and so on and so on. So I always say to people, no regrets. Do what you want to do in life. If it's not going to hurt somebody physically, mentally, then do it. Don't hold back. Don't have any setbacks and say to yourself, why didn't I do this? Why shouldn't I have done that? Do it as long as it doesn't hurt anybody and nobody gets hurt, and then do it. So I'm going to leave off with a rap that I always do on my shows, and then I'm going to say a great thank you and goodbye to everyone that's been supporting me. And definitely share this, like, follow, subscribe, share this with your friends. If you got information out of it, I know your friends are going to get out of it, information out of it also. At the end of the video, you'll listen to my music that I put out there, some snippets of some tracks. Check them out. Go on my channel and you can listen to them and watch the videos and everything else. And I definitely appreciate the love and the support you guys been giving me and girls. Thank you. So here comes the rap. Struggles and heartaches every single day. Pounding the streets like I'm pounding concrete with a hammer, like I'm a construction worker every day. Things are animosity is true. Life is not what you assist to what it says to say or do. Nowadays, times are hard as we know. People struggling, try to survive, try to let go. Things are not what they seem every single day. Things are definitely different in this era, this year, this day. We try to survive in the anguish of what we do. We try to see life and we try to see it through. But other people don't see what we see through you. You could be a rapper, a singer, that's true. You could produce, make beats, do art, graffiti, something that is equipped to you. But understand, in every magnitude of life, what we do, we try to understand what the meaning for our life and what we were put on this earth to do. Rapping is so hard, people think it's true. You have to rhyme, and those rhymes have to end up belonging to you. Don't implement anything you do, try to do what you say, and people will see you as you do things, enlightenment each and every day. A lot of people work hard at what they do. Some people copy what other people do, but other people see that it's not you. Be true to what you do and understand what I say, because people will see you in a different way. Some people copy what other people do. I always say something on this show, maybe it's related to you. Always be a leader, not a follower. That is true. Because people will see you as a leader and then they will see the energy that bounces off you. And most likely, definitely, they will respect you. Don't implement or fake things that you see and try to be someone that you're not. People will know the truth as they see. Understanding what I say every single day. And I thank everyone each and every minute that I can every day for all the love and all the support that they give me throughout the day. We struggle hard at what we do. Life is not easy. Unfortunately, that is so, so true. We try to get through in life every single day. We try to help people. Unfortunately, there's some people that don't relate to that in any way. They see things in a different way. It's all about me, me, me. But then when things turn a different way for them, then they start to see. They try to revolve their life and be something they're not, because what they were giving on this earth didn't help you, me, or anyone else that gave a shot. But understand what I say and what I do. All I can say is I respect and thank you. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. This is Vinny Venom, getting into the business, the music business that is episode 8. Thank you so much. Definitely like, share, subscribe, follow, and I appreciate all you have done. Be safe, be healthy, be strong. Goodbye.
BeatCutterz Music.
Breaking down cause my jealousy gets the best of me. If this keeps I'll speed